Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. This is koolNews at noon. I am Cairo, and we are live on Full FM and News Radio 93.1, where we share the latest news headlines that care for you. Let's begin with the first headline, as the petitions for with of habeas corpus filed by the children of former President Rodrigo Duterte have no merit and are now moot because their father has been turned over to the International Criminal Court to face charges of crimes against humanity for his bloody drug war. This was the reply of the Department of Justice on behalf of the government officials named respondents in the petitions, namely Executive Secretary Lucas Bersamin, Justice Secretary Jesus Crispin Remula, Philippine National Police Chief General Romel Marbel, and Criminal Investigation and Detection Group Director Major General Nicolas Torre III. The DOJ took over the role of state lawyer after the Office of the Solicitor General on Monday recursed itself of the case. Duterte was flown to the ICC headquarters in The Hague last week after the government helped Interpol serve the arrest warrant on Duterte upon his arrival at Ninoy Aquino International Airport from Hong Kong. A day after the father was turned over to the ICC, Duterte's children asked the Supreme Court to compel the government to bring him back from The Hague. The High Court issued a show cause order on March 13, directing the government to explain why the petitions for the writ of habeas corpus is separately filed by Veronica Duterte with GR number 278768, Davao City Mayor Sebastian Duterte with GR number 278763, and Davao City Representative Apollo Duterte with GR number 278798 should not be granted. The DOJ argued that since the former president is now in the custody of the ICC in the Netherlands and no longer within Philippine jurisdiction, the petitions have no practical effect. The document, signed by Justice Undersecretary Nicholas Felix D.Y., cited Section 2, Rule Number 102 of the Rules of Court, which states that the writ of habeas corpus is only enforceable within the Philippines. Clearly, therefore, since the relief prayed for could no longer be granted, the consolidated petitions are already moot and academic, warranting their outright dismissal by the Honorable Court, the document said. The DOJ further argued that the issuance of a writ of habeas corpus, which is intended as a relief for those illegally confined or imprisoned, is not applicable as there was a valid arrest warrant issued against Duterte. It cited Section 17 of Republic Act No. 98551, which allows Philippine authorities to forego investigating or prosecuting a crime if another court or international tribunal is already doing so, and instead surrender or extradite suspects to the appropriate international court or another state in line with existing extradition laws and treaties. It also noted Duterte's willingness to submit to the ICC investigation, as he stated during the House Quad Committee meeting in November 2024, as well as in a video uploaded on his Facebook page before he arrived at the capital. Following the DOJ's filing, the Supreme Court on Tuesday gave petitioners Sebastian, Veronica, and Apollo Duterte 5 days to personally file a trust verse in response. The DOJ also defended the government's cooperation with Interpol in serving the arrest warrant on Duterte, invoking the president's prerogative in foreign policy matters, and arguing that the action was beyond the court's scope of judicial review, as it is a political question. The agency explained that as a member state of Interpol, it was the government's duty to help the organization fulfill its mandate, one of which is to ensure and promote the widest possible mutual assistance between all criminal police authorities. It added that this responsibility also extended to intergovernmental or non-governmental international organizations such as the ICC. Thus, in extending assistance to the Interpol, the Philippine government, led by the president, is merely complying with its international obligations and performing his role as the chief architect of the country's foreign policy, the DOJ pointed out. This, naturally, is well within the president's discretion to do so, and the exercise thereof is patently a political question, which is beyond the review power of the courts, it added. In Malacanang, Presidential Communications Office Undersecretary and Palace Press Officer Clara Castro said on Tuesday that the president has not yet considered the possibility of replacing Solicitor General Bernardo Guiraba following his move to recuse himself of the habeas corpus petitions. Castro said Guiraba should elevate if he was still fit to be the government's chief lawyer afterward. She stressed that it was very important, quote-unquote, and very significant, quote-unquote, to get a lawyer who is very competent and very effective in defending the causes of the government. In response, Guiraba said only the president could decide his fate on whether he would remain as the government's top lawyer. Guiraba said these habeas corpus cases are just a tiny fraction of hundreds, if not thousands, of the cases that the OSG is handling for the government. I will stay in command of all these cases unless the president tells me to step down. The extension of night operations on Metro Rail Transit 3 or MR33 services will be possible by next week, according to the Department of Transportation Secretary Vince Dizon on Wednesday. Dizon on Monday directed the MRT3 to extend its night service by at least 1 hour following his inspection of several MRT3 stations. He emphasized that so many Filipino employees, like business process outsourcing workers, do not work during the standard time of 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Dizon said in an interview with Radio Estrenta or Teleradio sa Show, it is quite a difficult situation if they don't have any means of transportation because even nowadays when it is already very late at night, there is still heavy traffic in EDSA. So it is better if we extend the hours. He announced it seems that can be done by next week. And those train wagons, more will also be added next week, he noted. The last train for MRT3 North Avenue Station northbound leaves at 9:30 p.m. on weekdays, holidays, Saturdays, and Sundays. Meanwhile, the last train for Thrift Avenue Station southbound departs at 10:11 p.m. on weekdays, 10:08 p.m. on Saturdays, and 10:09 p.m. on Sundays and holidays. Dizon said they will study if they can adjust the morning operations of the train stations by 30 minutes earlier. As it is, he believes that extending operations is quite necessary at night. The maintenance operator needs time in the evening and early morning to maintain the trains. The operator also needs 5 to 6 hours for maintenance, he explained. After making an unannounced inspections, the Transportation Secretary noticed the lack of hygiene in some MRT stations. These places also do not have proper lighting. Meanwhile, Dizon recently relieved MRT3 General Manager Oscar Bongon from his post, emphasizing that immediate response to problems is necessary for the job. Dizon recalled an incident where an escalator in MRT3 station malfunctioned last March 8, but it was only repaired last Tuesday. No replacement has been officially announced yet by the palace. It is now 12:10 p.m. as we will continue with more news headlines right here on koolNews at noon. Stay along with us. We will be right back. welcome back to koolNews at noon. Let's continue with the headlines. Okay, give me one moment. Okay, let's get into the business headlines as the Philippine economy might grow slower than previously expected this year and in 2026 as high global commodity prices dampen economic activity, the Bangko Sentro ng Pilipinas said. In its latest monetary policy report, the BSP said growth was projected to settle near the lower bound of the Marcos administration's target range for 2025 and 2026, added that economic expansion could moderate compared to previous assessments. Assessments, yes. The moderation reflects the lower than expected gross domestic product (GDP) growth in the fourth quarter of 2024 following the onslaught of destructive typhoons late last year that sank farm output and weighed on services. Ultimately, the BSP said higher global commodity prices could dampen economic activity, while trade threats in the United States also pose great risk to domestic growth prospects. These headwinds are partially offset by the BSP's monetary policy easing, the central bank said. Government data showed GDP had expanded at an average rate of 5.6% for the entire 2024 and a year marked by strong typhoons and massive flooding. While that pace of expansion was a little faster than the 5.5% growth in 2023, the latest reading had fallen short of the revised 6 to 6.5% goal of the Marcos administration, marking the second year of below target GDP growth. For this year until the end of President Marcos' term in 2028, the government was targeting to make the economic growth between 6 and 8%. But some analysts believe a shallow easing cycle could hold back the economy from posting a stronger growth. At its first policy meeting for this year, the BSP had decided to keep the benchmark rate that banks typically use as a guide when pricing loans to 5.75%, citing the need to defend the economy and the inflation outlook against unusual uncertainties coming from a slew of tariff actions in the United States. The good news is a benign inflation that eased more than expected in February could provide the central bank more room to further cut borrowing costs. The overall balance of demand and supply conditions translates to a neutral output gap, suggesting limited demand-driven inflationary pressures, the central bank said. Former Executive Secretary Salvador Medaldía will withdraw as counsel for former President Rodrigo Duterte in his case before the International Criminal Court once the ex-leader's legal team is finalized. Duterte's daughter, Vice President Sara Duterte, confirmed this in an interview with reporters at the Hague, Netherlands on Tuesday. Duterte said once the team for ICC is finalized, Attorney Medaldía will withdraw because there are only limited slots for lawyers. We want all the lawyers on board to have ICC experience. There are still lawyers I'll be talking with. One attorney will be arriving. I am interviewing them to join the team, the Vice President added. She did not name which lawyer she was meeting with nor specify how many. Medaldía was appointed by the former president as one of his counsels for the ICC proceedings, representing the ex-leader before the tribunal during his first appearance hearing last Friday. On Tuesday, the former executive secretary was rushed to a hospital in The Hague for undisclosed reason. British Israeli lawyer Nicholas Kaufman has been appointed as Duterte's lead counsel. Duterte's confirmation of charges hearing is scheduled for September 23rd, 2025. And now let's get into the international headlines. Yongyang County in South Korea's North Gyeongsang province is seeking to attract about 40 Myanmar refugees to live in the community as a population continues to decline, officials said last week. The county government is in discussions with the Justice Ministry on whether refugees under United Nations protection could settle in Yongyang. It is also reviewing various options for their living arrangements such as converting closed schools into housing. Officials expect the plan to yield results as early as 2025. If there is any way to prevent population decline, we are considering all possibilities, including attracting refugees, an official said. We are doing our best to ensure the region does not disappear. Pyongyang has the lowest population among districts in South Korea, excluding islands. Unseasonal heavy snow pounded Seoul and the central regions beginning early Tuesday morning, disrupting rush hour traffic across the capital areas. Amid an unexpected heavy snow advisory issued the previous day, Seoul had received 11.9 centimeters of snow as of 8:20 a.m., compared with 30.8 centimeters in Gyeonggu of Gyeonggi Province and 19.9 centimeter in Goseong of Gangwon Province, the Korea Meteorological Administration said. It is known to be the latest heavy snow advisory issued in Seoul. Traffic congestion occurred in various parts of Seoul as cars slowed down on slippery roads. The average traffic speed in central Seoul fell to 17.9 kilometers per hour as at 7 a.m., according to the Seoul city government. The snowfall also caused numerous accidents and vehicle-to-vehicle collisions throughout the capital as cars skidded on the snowy roads. In Asan, sort of Seoul, in Subek, man in his 20s died in a single-car accident early Tuesday morning in which his car crashed into a median barrier on an apparently slippery road. Flights were also disrupted, with 4 flights scheduled to depart from Gimpo, Jeju Island, Yeosu, and Wonju cancelled due to strong gales and aircraft de-icing, according to Korea Airports Corp. 5 other flights were delayed as of 8 a.m. At Incheon International Airport, South Korea's main gateway, 5 flights were delayed but none were cancelled as of 8 a.m. according to its operator. To ease the morning rush hour, Korea Railroad Corp said it added 40 train services to subway lines in the capital area. A company employee surnamed Lee, 28, who commutes from Seongnam, Gyeonggi Province to Yeouido in Western Seoul, said he is already tired in the morning because there are so many people using the subway. The KMA said the snow is expected to stop falling nationwide during Tuesday. And finally, into the showbiz, Ronnie Dagal, the father of slain stand-up comedian Goat Dagal, is mourning the killing of his son who was just working to earn a living. An aggrieved Ronnie addressed to his Facebook page on Tuesday, March 18, the perpetrators behind Goat's death. Ronnie said, "Who ordered the killing of my only son? Is it you? We are just ordinary people working to earn a living. I am his father, a son of the World War II veteran who defended this country to regain our independence. How dare you do this to us?" he continued. In the comment section, Ronnie further described his tragic death of Goat as a sinless killing of a grandson of the World War II veteran. He was just working to earn a living. How could you do this to us? Why did you kill my son? He stated. I love you, Golden. He added along with a photo of Gold from when he was young. Gold was known for his humor that tackled political themes and taboo topics. He drew the ear of some individuals with his controversial comedic performances that made reference to a certain religious group. The stand-up comedian was shot dead in Pampanga on March 15. Gold's mom, Jocelyn Cruz, previously stated that people who claim to be closest to God were the perpetrators behind the comedian's death. Ladies and gentlemen, it's now 1 minute before 12:30 p.m. and that will be it for koolNews at noon. We will return with more news headlines later with koolNews at 6 and koolNews prime time at 10:30 p.m. You can also send us your comments, suggestions, and feedback through our email at tvh.philippines.news@gmail.com. Until then, I am Cairo, and this has been koolNews at noon, and the music continues right here on Kool FM. This is your station. This is home. Kool FM. Good afternoon.